I discovered the Association for Recorded Sound Collections when I was in grad school. I had known only a handful of collectors before this, but ARSC changed that. It's a perfect blend of private collectors, professional institutional archivists, and discographic researchers. ARSC publishes a scholarly journal and has annual conferences where I've had the opportunity of meeting a large number of the most important and interesting collectors and researchers. I've missed only 2 conferences in almost 40 years.
The record march.
Association for Recorded Sound Collections was founded around, 1967 or 8. I was unaware of it at that time. I was not a charter member. Steve Smolian got me started. That led to going into that world. I found them all to be very interesting people and walking encyclopedias in their own fields. And that's where I met Mike Biel that very first year, which was 1972 in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Because of Steve's encouragement, I went, and from then on in, you couldn't hold me back from going to it.
I think it was Fred Williams who said, "Kurt, you've got to go to an ARSC conference. It's just one of those things that you've got to do." So, following his advice, I went to my first conference, and that was the Chicago conference. And since that one, I believe I've attended every conference except for Chapel Hill. I think I've been to all of them since then.
I joined, I think it was in 76 or 77, because they were meeting in Chicago. I think I found out about some of the stuff that had been going on, like I think at West Orange. And I said, well, it's down at the Bismarck. I'll go check it out. And I met Smolian and Tim Brooks, and it was a very interesting meeting. I learned a lot.
First time I went to a conference was in '96, I believe. Even if they don't collect classical music, they enjoy records or the technology of recording sound.
My first Association for Recorded Sound Collections meeting was in 1977, I think. I didn't know any of those people. I'd seen a flyer on the desk at the New York Public Library or something. And the next meeting happened to be in New York, so I thought I'd stop by. Very welcoming. Wanted to know what you were involved in and so forth, and I was a greenhorn, obviously. I didn't make the next meeting in 1978 because it was somewhere else, but in 1979 I went and they promptly made me second vice president. Why don't you set up the next convention? What did I know? So as soon as I showed even a glimmer of interest, there was this what Ross Perot used to call a huge sucking sound that brings you right in. And I found over the years that although it of course had its lions, its founders, its gray eminences, which I'm becoming one, I guess, that had come before and founded the organization, the Phil Millers and people like that, David Halls. They were more than happy to work with and help the next generation that came along.